worked in the nonprofit world for over 30 years. In those years, I've realized that the majority of the community does not know about the organizations that provide critical services and benefits to our community that we sometimes take for granted. Nonprofit Insider is a chance to hear about the organizations that touch so many in our community. The opinions expressed in Nonprofit Insider are not necessarily those of WMPG, its staff and underwriters, or of USM. So today we have a great guest with us. The energy level is fairly high in the room. Katie Hatch. Katie's the Executive Director of SaiMaine.
Thanks so much for having me.
Great. Well, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Okay. I don't know if you had a chance to catch Morning Street this morning, did you?
I did not.
Oh, you should have said yes.
I should have said yes,
Yes.
but I didn't want to lie.
Okay, but it was a great show. It was a special tribute to Aretha and some great music. So if you get a chance, it's 6:30 in the morning on Fridays. You get a chance to listen to that. So, as a professional fundraiser, one of the things I've always stressed with my clients, you can't thank your donors enough.
I fully agree.
So, based on that, I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for all the hard work that all the volunteers, the staff, and everybody did here at WMPG for last week's Begathon, and most importantly, for those who made the calls. Nonprofit Insider reached its goal, so we're pleased about that, and it's exciting to have such community commitment for WMPG. So, Katie, how would you describe SaiMaine?
SaiMaine is a community sailing center, which is located down on the east end of Portland's waterfront. We are a nonprofit, and our mission is to provide affordable access to the water through sailing and educational programming. So
All right.
really, we're a community sailing center with something for everyone.
I use the terminology mission flow a lot. Okay. What does your mission really mean?
Our mission really means we want to get people out sailing on Casco Bay throughout the state and across the U.S.
So, and I know there's sailing programs around the country. I'm working with one in Colorado right now, and believe it or not, there is a sailing program in Colorado. Are you all interconnected in some way? Or is there a national organization, or are you all independent and just happen to be in touch with each other?
Most sailing centers are members of U.S. Sailing, so that would be the connecting organization. But here in Maine, all of the community sailing centers are loosely connected and stay in touch through just regular calls, regattas, and through our sailing programs. So one way that we do this is most of the community sailing centers in New England, they offer a high school sailing program. They typically have one team. We happen to have, right now, we have 8 teams that serve 17 different high schools at SaiMaine. And then we offer regattas, which allow all of the different community sailing centers and high schools from around the region to come and sail and compete on Casco Bay. So that's another way that we get a chance to stay connected, is actually through the sport and getting out on the water.
What happens if a young child, maybe elementary school age, can't afford sailing? I mean, there's costs involved with it.
Absolutely. And that's the best part of what SaiMaine is. We are a nonprofit, we're community sailing, and we're mission driven, which is to get everyone else on the water. So we offer scholarships and have never turned down a junior sailor because of their ability to pay. So we want to get everyone out on the water. And additionally, we do a whole range of outreach projects that help to get people out on the water who might not have all the resources on their own to do it, who might have additional barriers to getting out to sailing, and who have a real keen interest in getting out on the water.
So I'm going to take an educated guess here and tell me if I'm wrong, but reality is probably everybody in the Portland area has seen your program at one point or another. But just crossing the Casco Bay Bridge on a Saturday morning, you see these little trails of sailboats out there. Is that you?
That is us. That's right. If you've seen the little white sails out there, that is SaiMaine. That is us out sailing. So most times people are seeing our high school sailors that are out there every day. They'll be out there today. They started sailing on Monday, right? Who wants to come down and volunteer and get out on the water? High school kids are out there and they're sailing. And so, yeah, you'll see us out there 7 days a week, starting last Monday through November.
Wow. So how many volunteers are you working with?
We have a wide range. I would say we generally have about 100 people that volunteer throughout the course of the year, But that's not including all of the parents that participate in our high school program. So they volunteer in their own way, just getting their kids to and from the program. And then we have a host of skippering opportunities to get more people out on the water and reducing barriers to getting people out. So we provide skippers. We have people that are helping out on land. And then, of course, we have committees and a great board of directors which help make all of it possible.
That's really exciting. Now, you're fairly a newbie as an executive director.
In SaiMaine, yes. In
Okay.
terms of being an executive director, this is a role that I've had in the past as well, but just in a different place, most recently in East Africa.
Okay. Well, let's focus in on Portland, Maine here.
Sure.
What do you think some of the issues are that an executive director faces in today's nonprofit world?
I think there are a host of challenges, and of course, they're going to be different based on the organization and what that looks like. But I think that some of the current and common shared challenges might be that there are great needs that a community might be facing and great numbers of opportunities which people and nonprofits hope to realize and to accommodate in their programming. For SaiMaine, that is, we see so many opportunities to get people out on the water, and identifying the resources and the assets and of course the funding to make it happen is always a challenge, one that we like to be able to face and overcome to get people out on the water. But of course, it's always a challenge and consideration.
Right. So, since you've been at SaiMaine, what would you say your most significant aha moment was? What was the most enlightening thing that hit you that you least expected?
Wow, I think the aha moment is really when you see a kid get it for the first time. And it's not necessarily my aha moment, but it might be theirs. And you just see it all come together and you go, they just got it.
They just got it.
Yeah. And that's amazing.
Over the years, I've always heard criticisms and critiques about nonprofits that aren't providing the critical services like food, shelter, that sort of thing. How would you defend the importance of a program like SaiMaine to the community?
I would defend it through the participants and really having their voice heard as to why it's an important program. So with all the programs that we do survey our participants to understand, what were some of the challenges that they had and what were some of the, great challenges that they overcame and why sailing and SaiMaine is important to them. And, I think that, to use one example, last summer in our Camp Frosty program, that is a program, it's a 2-week program, and kids build a boat and then they learn how to sail. The majority of the students that we've had are coming from the Portland School District. They have never been out on Casco Bay. They've never built a boat before, and they certainly haven't sailed before. And we had one participant last summer who fell in love with sailing the first day. That's all she could talk about. She's new to America. She's here with her mom and her 5 sisters. And for her, and she just found this sense of freedom that was out on the water that she didn't have a sense of. She then joined our Portland High School race team and sailed all last fall. And then she had the opportunity to speak at our recent fundraiser. And she said that this opportunity allowed for her to be Neela the sailor, Neela the girl, Neela the regular kid, versus Neela with all the other attachments that she'd been feeling since she had arrived in the U.S. So I think that, these are amazing opportunities that, you can share with potential donors, your current donors, and the greater community to help them understand why what you're doing is so important.
What do you think the hardest piece that you've experienced of being an executive director?
That's a really good question.
I told you this is live radio.
I think that, the hardest piece is navigating and maintaining all the relationships that came before you, because obviously those are made with individuals and they're very personal. Even though it's a professional interaction, it's very personal. So, really rebuilding and rekindling those relationships as someone coming into the role. And then also looking to create new opportunities to build relationships and just getting the word out there about what it is that you're doing so that you can then leverage those relationships and turn it into an opportunity, whatever that means for the person or organization that you're working with, and really making it very relevant to what they believe in and linking your organization with those beliefs.
What would you like to see SaiMaine look like in 5 years?
I would love to see it continue to be a really vibrant community sailing center. I would love to see it grow in terms of the number of participants that are coming through, both juniors and adults, the number of outreach programs that we're able to offer. And also, I'd love to see us expand geographically in terms of where we're having our impact. So currently, we are right in Portland on Casco Bay. We run our own programs right out of SaiMaine. And then we also work across the Fore River at Centerboard Yacht Club and run their junior program. And then we're also up in the Belgrade Lakes at the Great Pond Yacht Club. And we work with them to engage the local community in sailing programs. So those are great opportunities for us to take those models of working with existing organizations and expand it geographically across the state.
Do you find it might be intimidating when you use the term yacht club for kids who may not have that kind of experience or exposure?
Absolutely. You know, a yacht club, I think it comes with a lot of social values attached to that phrase. And SaiMaine is not a yacht club. We are a community sailing center, but people belong to yacht clubs because they love the sport. People belong to yacht clubs because they probably grew up sailing, and there is a lot of value. And you know, we work closely with a lot of different yacht clubs. They see the value. They understand the value of realizing that the future of the sport is now with the youth that are participating in the sport and getting really fired up about the sport. So I think that there are challenges in terms of, you know, really allowing people to understand what a yacht club is and who is a member of a yacht club, and really understanding that everyone is there for the same reason, you know, to get out sailing, to enjoy the sport, to enjoy the natural beauty of the backyard that you live in, and really taking advantage of that.
Great. So we're at the point of the show where we go into the midpoint identifier. Am I right? Oh, okay. I'll drag the trivia question out then. Deb's giving me looks like I jumped in too early here. But we have the midpoint identifier in our trivia question, and this one is sports related because this is a sports program.
That's right. I'm a little nervous.
But it's not related to sailing at all.
Okay.
I was actually intrigued by this one. You ready?
I'm ready.
Who was the only Supreme Court justice who played in the National Football League?
Wow, that is a great trivia question.
It is.
I wish I had a team for this trivia match.
All right, we're going to go to the midpoint identifier and get Deb's Googling on her iPhone right now. This is Nonprofit Insider on WMPG, listener-supported radio, 90.9 and 104.1 FM, community radio of Southern Maine and Eastern New Hampshire. Joining us today on Nonprofit Insiders, Katie Hatch, Executive Director of SaiMaine. So the trivia question is, who is the only Supreme Court justice who played in the NFL? Now, I did ask Frankie's father about this, and he did not know. And I asked Frankie's uncle about this, and he got it, but I think he cheated and Googled. So the answer is Byron Whizzer White was the first-round draft choice of the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1938. Byron White did not play in 1939, and then White then played for the Detroit Lions in 1940 and 41, where he led the league in rushing and was voted to the All-Pro team. President Kennedy appointed him to the Supreme Court in March of 1962, where he served 31 years until 1993. Justice White, nearly 85, when he died in 2002. Now, was that a good one?
That was a great one.
All right, so let's get back to the serious matter at hand here, SaiMaine.
Yes.
Even though it's fun, it does some great work in the community. How do you measure outcomes with some of your younger participants, especially ones you're trying to make social change on?
We use a few different approaches. So we do obviously use very typical surveys for the quantitative information. So with U.S. Sailing, which is who we utilize for all of our trainings and learn to sail programs, it comes with a very clear set of goals that you're looking for each sailor to be able to demonstrate. So that makes it pretty clear in moving forward. Now, the other piece is very qualitative because you really want to ignite a fire that hopefully is for sailing, but also is really with some self identification and building confidence and teamwork and really falling in love with nature so that you never know where you're going to develop your next stewards for the environment. So there are a lot of different ways that we do this, and obviously through open-ended questions. But the other piece is just through building relationships on the water with all the youth that come through the program, working with our different coaches and instructors, and having those relationships be really positive and engaging, and having each youth that comes through our program realize and understand that we are a community and they are a part of it. So that is a big piece as well. We want them to always feel like they have a home and that the home is SaiMaine and that they'll always have a chance to get out on the water from the day they get out with us for the first time all the way through being an adult. So that's the big piece, and the big challenge is how do you encourage them to keep returning? How do you create developing new programs that are in line with what the youth are looking for? For an example, we've been really focused on racing and learning to sail and learning to race with our youth. And we've started to realize that there are kids that don't necessarily want to race, that they want to go out and they want to explore Casco Bay. They want to learn about the ocean and the wildlife that's there. They want to go and explore the islands. So we have created an adventure sailing course. So they take our J22s, which is a keel boat, out and sail through Casco Bay.
Out. What is a keel boat?
So it's, I think when people think about what is a sailboat, this is what they're picturing. It's a great boat that is great to learn to sail on. It's easy to sail, and it's a lot of fun to sail. And we have a fleet of them down at SaiMaine.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm a landlubber.
Well, I'll have to get you out there.
There you go. Anytime we can do an interview on the water. How's
that sounds good. I like it.
You up for that, Deb? All right. Go. I'm sorry.
No. So I think, it's just being adaptive and responsive to what the population that you're working with, what they're looking for. And so really staying true to your mission, but also figuring out how can you best serve the needs of the community that you're working with.
So you have a board of directors.
We do, yeah.
Yeah. And do they provide you the necessary guidance that you need for this? Are they the eyes and the ears of the community for you, or is your staff?
It's a combination.
Great.
Absolutely, yeah. And also our committee members. We have the board of directors. We have a set of committees as well, which have members from the local community and from our board, as well as staff members on there. And then, of course, you're always listening to your participants and, especially with youth, their parents or support network as well. So we're a community, so it really is taking it in from everywhere and then guiding the process through strategic planning and all of that. So
just get me out on the water, right?
But of course, it's important to have that vision, to have a strategy and goals and understanding where it is that you are, where you want to be short-term and long-term. So of course, your board of directors is going to help you do that, but it's going to be informed through committees and your participants and, whoever else is a stakeholder in the process.
Right. And how many full-time staff do you have?
We have 4 full-time staff. That's year-round.
Okay.
And then our numbers grow very dramatically. So in the height of programming, we're around 40.
Okay. And how many youth or participants do you serve on a yearly basis?
We serve a lot, yeah. So we get about 1,000 people out on the water each year, and for some of those people, they're coming through several programs, and for some people, they're getting out once, realizing that Casco Bay is beautiful, but maybe sailing isn't for them, but they tried it, and that's great.
Right.
So yeah, about 1,000 people. Our biggest program is our summer junior program, our Learn to Sail program that we run throughout the summer. And then our second largest youth programming is our high school sailing.
Okay. And I assume you have a good working relationship with the Coast Guard.
We have a very good one, yes.
So they don't cringe when they see those hundreds of little boats going out on the bay on Saturday
No.
morning.
I think it's probably pretty calming for them knowing that there's people out on the bay that, are the experts and
Right.
are guiding the future sailors to success.
So if you had to, and I'm going to ask you to pick your favorite child, and I apologize for that, but if you had to pick your favorite program to hang your hat on, what would it be?
That is a tough one.
I know. I save it towards the end. You
I
notice
know,
that.
I know. Can I pick two because we have junior programming and adult programming?
Let's have a vote. Can she pick two? Yeah.
All
okay.
right. Excellent. Excellent. I think that for junior programming, it really is our Camp Frosty program. That is an opportunity for youth who have never been out on the water to get out on the water. And we're expanding it this year. So we're partnering with
How'd you come up with Camp Frosty?
So a Frosty, it's the Cape Cod Frosty. It's a type of sailboat.
Ah, okay.
And they are small. They are about 6 feet. And they were originally built for frostbiting down off of Cape Cod.
Okay.
For
I'm sorry.
adults.
Sorry
Yeah.
I interrupted on that
That's
one.
okay. So that's where the name came from. So the program, it's currently we are partnered with the landing school down in Arundel.
Oh, okay.
So kids go and they build a boat and learn how to build a boat. And then they come to SaiMaine and they learn how to sail the boat. And then they culminate their experience out with Ripple Effect on Cow Island. So I love this program because it's cooperative, collaborative, and it's all youth focused. So I really love that. And you never know where the excitement's going to come from.
And what's the youngest child that comes?
For that program, it is middle school through high school
Okay.
aged. For our other junior programming, we start at 5 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the adult program?
The adult program is one that we haven't actually started. We're going to be launching it this summer. And it's our new adaptive programming, so adaptive sailing for veterans. I'm really excited about this. There have been successful programs that have been launched at community sailing centers across the U.S., and we're really excited to be the first one that's launching here in Maine.
That's really exciting.
It really,
There's
really
some
is.
great work going on around the country with,
Yeah.
with veterans. I have to have some of them on the show.
Yeah.
So I have 4 listeners to the show.
Oh, great.
Okay. And if you were going to ask them for money, why would they want to contribute to you?
I think that the reason why people should support SaiMaine is because we are community. We are for everyone. We are taking full advantage of our natural surroundings. Portland is a port city. We're getting people out there. And we are providing opportunity and access to a sport which is often perceived as being a sport for a particular segment of our community. So this is an opportunity to really break down those barriers and break down those stereotypes and really show everybody that sailing is for everybody and Casco Bay is for everybody and you can start sailing at any age. So I think that's the reason why. And, hopefully there's synergies and they can see what we're doing visually, just being
Right.
on the prom. And then, again, it's listening to the participants and hearing what they have to say for the reasons as to why people should support the program.
We should have had Neela on the show too.
Yeah, she's amazing.
So do you see a lot of success stories like that?
Absolutely. I mean, we see success stories with our programs on so many different fronts. I mean, we have sailors who have gone up through our program and have gone on to sail and are, top ranked at different colleges right now. We have sailors who have gone up through our program are racing professionally. That's what they're doing for a living. And then, we have sailors that have gone through our community, up through our community programming, and they are leaders within their school, within their peer groups. And we also, are just seeing that this provides a different opportunity for kids that don't always feel like they have a place to fit in. It's a different type of sport than most people are used to. And for adults, there's nothing like being out on Casco Bay and having that sense of freedom. So it's really exciting.
Would you like to spend a minute or two and talk a little bit about the veteran program we're putting together?
I would love to.
Go for it.
So we're really, really excited about this program. It came to us through a return veteran who had the opportunity to go to Galveston, Texas, and go through a training program there for a week. And he came back dedicated to getting veterans out on the water here in Maine. And he's been an absolute champion for the veterans here. And so we are going to be offering a host of programming for return veterans, and we are opening it up so that it's responsive to what they want it to be. One piece is that there will be a learn to sail, learn to race with the goal of the regatta at the end of the season. And then there'll also be learn to sail programs that people can come down with their families and get out and have a different type of experience and form new bonds and have just that calm, peaceful opportunity to get out as a family or as a friend group and experience something together.
Well, I look forward to hearing a lot more about that. We have a minute or two left. Do you have any questions for me?
I do.
Uh-oh. I'm glad I saved it toward the end and only a minute left.
So what do you think are some of the challenges facing nonprofits in Maine with some legislation that's coming through?
Well, that's a really broad question. I think you have to look at which legislation in particular, if you're talking about the property tax issue.
I am.
Okay. One of the things that we had talked about, I think, with Ethan Strimling when he was on the show was that a lot of nonprofits are already paying something. They're either paying property taxes as part of the purchase that they had, agreement that they had when they purchased it, or they're paying something called payment in lieu of taxes, the pilot. I personally believe, and this is my opinion and all my disclaimers here, that nonprofits should pay something because they are receiving the services of the community. God forbid something happened on the water and you needed the police or the rescue, they would be there.
Absolutely.
So I think that there needs to be a formula that people can work together on versus just a straight property tax. But again, there's other nonprofits that have for-profit entities built into them. I won't mention anything like hospitals or anything, but they have it. Well, that's my cue. We're out of here. Thank you for being on the show. Next week we have Heather Davis, Executive Director of the Telling Room. The music appears courtesy of Mike Hubbard. You can find Mike's music on www.michaelhubbardmusic.com. Check out Mike's website to see where he's playing this weekend. Thanks to Deb Danger, MPI's Executive Engineer. You can catch Deb on Morning Street Fridays at 6:30. Nonprofit Insider is now on Facebook. You can post questions or recommend a nonprofit that should be on the show. All past shows are archived at www.tcmgr.com, NP Insider tab. Till next week.
And please stay tuned to WMPG W281 AC Gorham, Portland for a very different Zvuki Rusi. We're not quite sure what's going to happen, but please stay tuned. Thanks for listening and thanks for contributing.